Yes, people, welcome back. Number 22, 23, 24. I don't even know. We've got the man himself. I've been wanting this to happen for a very, very long time. He's the cereal breakfast man himself. How are we, bro? Are we good?
I'm cool, man. Thanks for having me, man.
That's
Thank
all
you.
right. Right, before we get started, just let the people know what do we mean when it comes to cereal and breakfast for you. You're a bit of a connoisseur, I've heard.
Yeah, man. Listen. I'm a food guy all around. So any type of food, I'll be able to comment on it. I'll be able to tell you if it's quality, if it's not. And so what I like to do on Instagram, which I've kind of stopped doing now, but I like to do is like I like to eat something and then I film myself while I'm eating it, and then I give a very short review on it. And what I do with my cereal, usually my go-to is like Frosties. So Frosties is easy. I eat that
That is a
every day.
dead
But
cereal.
sometimes I like to step out of my comfort zone and try different things. And many times I actually got disappointed. And if it's good, you're going to see it on my face. If it's bad, you're going to see it on my face as well. So this is what I do.
Oh, mate, honestly. But Frosties, that is a dead choice already. But we'll
Bro,
move on.
how?
We'll move on. We'll move on.
Okay, man.
Okay. As I can tell, it's not the most English accent, mate.
Yeah.
Where did it all begin?
Well, I'm French, so I'm from Paris. I was born in Paris. I grew up in Paris, and then until I was 16. 16. This is when I came over to England. So yeah, I've been working on my accent and things like because I moved all over. I started at Sunderland in the northeast, so I kind of picked up the accent there. Then I moved down south. I went to Eastleigh. My accent kind of changes a little bit as well. That I moved all over the country. I went to Wigan, Colchester, Essex. So my accent makes no sense more time.
Yeah.
It's like there's no consistency in it. But yeah, I've been working on
When
it for a while.
when you were in Paris, what was the academy called? It was the same academy where was it
Oh,
Henri?
Clairefontaine. No,
Yes.
that's fake news. So that's
Is
fake news
it?
online. I don't know. Basically, what happened was when you're young, I went through the trials, yeah, and I went up to the last. I went up to the last stage, and then I didn't end up getting picked. But for whatever reason, online it says that I came through at Clairefontaine, which I didn't. I mean,
Ah.
I wish I did. Do you know what I mean? I didn't. No, unfortunately, I didn't.
And so, how did that come about? Going from France at 16 to Sunderland. How does that happen? I get people asked all the time,
Right.
how do I get
So,
scouted in this country or whatever? How does that come about?
oh, right. Well, it's a whole lot of luck, man. You have to be honest. The main thing you gotta need luck. But basically, the club I used to play for is my hometown club. However, it's a really good club. It's not professional, but it's like
Mhm.
the top of like the amateur clubs. And
Mhm.
what happens in France is like it's not like here. It's like it don't matter if your club's professional or not. If you're at a good level, if your team performs at the best level, you're gonna play in the same league as all the academies.
Yeah.
So that was the case for my club. But same, I was playing against PSG, Rennes, all the big clubs. I was playing against them week in, week out. So therefore, there's going to be scouts everywhere, every game, and I got really lucky. There was a Sunderland scout at one of my games, and he scouted me. So I went over to Sunderland for a week for a trial. I then went to Newcastle as well for a trial there, and then I went back to Sunderland for a second time, Newcastle a second time, and then ended up signing for Sunderland. But as I say, you have to be lucky. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how many English scouts go to France to scout players, but even then to go scout to a non-professional club, you have. Yeah. As much as I know I was playing well and stuff, I understand the amount of luck
Mm.
you're gonna need to have.
Have a lot of players that have made it professional done a very similar route to yourself? They've not necessarily played for the academies, but they've played at a number of teams like yourself?
I think so, especially in France,
Yeah.
because uh, for some reason I feel like there's less professional clubs in France that they are that they are
With academies specifically?
in England. Yeah, academy
Okay.
because so what happened is like in France, usually players get scouted from the age of like 13, 12,
Mhm.
13, and that's when you go to your academy. 13, 14, 15. This is really the latest.
I
After
was gonna
that,
say.
it's really hard to then make it to a pro club.
Mm.
So what happened is that there's many players that didn't get to sign to an academy, but however, at the age of like 15, 16, up maybe 17 latest, they're still doing well. And they managed to even make it through. They make it through the route of like playing first team for a lower league club, and then they manage to get through. Or you can get some players still get scouted at a later stage, but
Yeah.
it's just different. I think what happens in football, everybody's journey is very different. It's like, as much as everybody would love to have like the stereotypical journey of like you're getting scouted from young and you playing for a pro club from young, it doesn't happen for everyone. And that's why you really have to believe in yourself and work as hard as you can, because you never know who's watching. You never know when someone might pick you up, you know?
No, 100%. Who was the manager at Sunderland at the time?
Steve Bruce.
What was he like?
Steve, well, I was young at the time. I was 16, so
Yeah.
I signed for the under 18. But
Mhm.
from what I saw, I never trained with him per se. But when you see him around, around the building, a very lively guy. It seemed very approachable. He seemed quite close to his players and stuff. There's certain managers that they walk around and you just know he's not the type that you can just go up and just talk to. Do you know what I mean? But he wasn't like that at all. He seemed very nice and stuff. And when he was around, there was always great atmosphere at the club.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he's had some good spells at Sunderland as well, so it helps. But there's been other managers where the atmosphere was not there at all. So.
And was that from you being involved with the first team and you noticed that, or were you still maybe not in the first team?
No, not yet. So what happens at Sunderland is that everybody eats in the same place. So the academies, first team and youth team, they're all in the same building. Mm-hmm. So we share the same gym, we share the same pool, we share the same canteen, we share pretty much everything. So therefore, it's easy to walk past him. It's easy to see him. You're gonna be in contact with him or in contact with the first team, even if you're not training with him. So that's why.
And what's that like for you? Like, do you remember your first day? I'm guessing you must.
I remember my first day.
What was your English like at that point as well? Was it?
It was all right though, because what happened? So my dad's half Scottish, so he spoke to me in English since I was young. I was talking back to him in French. Mm-hmm. And so that's why my accent's not perfect. However, my understanding and stuff, I started with a better level than most other people. That. And then with school, obviously, it helps and stuff. So so my English was all right. However, I'm landing in Sunderland. I'm landing in the northeast. Like, the accent is crazy.
I don't even understand them, mate.
No, it's mad. Like, in my head, like, there's no way you're speaking English. Like, it was crazy. So at first, it took a while to adapt, but then. Yeah, it was great. I remember my first day. Vividly. It was great, man. Because what happens there's like all the players. They're from the area. They're all from the northeast. So they may not all be from Sunderland per se, but they'll be from Newcastle. They'll be all close by, and they all grew up. They've all been in the same team since they were young. So the atmosphere in this team's great. And me being the only new player, everybody welcomed me with open arms, and I got on with everyone. It was great, man.
Because obviously, I think at that time, you got people like John O'Shea, Wes Brown, Seb Larson, Catamo. Like, these are, I always call them proper players. There's no kind of fucking around. It's if in doubt. Do you know what I mean? Like, those proper ballers. What was that like, kind of getting in when you got in, or that first chance you got to train with the first team? What was that like? Was the atmosphere different, or did the club try and make the whole atmosphere the same? So it
is different. I think first team and youth team was quite different because the club doesn't have much control on what happens with the first team. It's like it's like whatever manager comes is going to decide what the first team does. And as Sunderland, there were so many turnovers of managers almost every 6 months. There was a new manager. But when you first get there, it's sick, man. It's actually so good because all the pros, they'll want you to do well. So more time, they're actually happy for you to be training with them and stuff. Certain players trying to give you advice and stuff like that. And then you see, as I said, you see people like Catamore, people like John O'Shea. So like you can see the type of standards that they set for themselves, always high. For example, Lee Catamore's always on it in training, 100%. Like he literally trains the way he plays. Same thing with John O'Shea. As much as he plays as a centre back in training, you can tell he's been at high level. Like you can tell why he's played for Man U.
Yeah,
he's just like it's just different things. And what's so interesting with going with the first team, like you learn so much because you can see, as you said, how proper players do it. You can see. You can understand the level, so you understand how much work you still need to do to get to that level. But as well as that, because it's quicker, it's sharper, it's more physical. You just have to adapt, and that really makes your game better. You know.
Was that something for you that you kind of thrived off? I've done I think the whole way of your career, I've looked at especially the moves that you've made. It's kind of been like, I'm here, I'm making the most of it.
Yeah.
And I find, was that the kind of similar with the first team at Sunderland? You kind of made the most of your time when you were at training. Was that kind of, you trained as hard as the next one?
Yeah, 100%. I think this is what you have to. I've always been hardworking and stuff like that. So when you get to the first team, you're trying to show everything that you can do. You're trying to make sure you're working hard first and foremost. You're trying to make sure you're on your base behavior, and you're trying to make sure you play as well as you can. And definitely you could never take it for granted, because what happened at Sunderland, like you kind of, there's certain days where you don't know if you're going to be with the first team or if you're going to be with the reserves or whatnot. So any opportunity you get to be trained with the first team, you make the most of it.
And what strikers was Defoe there when you were there?
Yeah, he was. Jermaine Defoe was there. Fletcher was there. Danny Graham was there. Fraser Campbell was there early on. Who else was there?
So again, they're proper. I've asked like proper footballers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've kind of got that pedigree. You speak a lot there, and I think I look at it from your perspective as well. Nothing beats first team football or men's football. Like people can play in the academy for 5 years. You're 22 and you've not played a senior game. Do you think being around that environment and working off those pros has made you such a better player because you were there from so early, if that makes sense?
Yeah, 100%, man, because there's like, as you say, you can play youth team, you can play reserves as much as you want. There's nothing that compared to first team football, especially the Premier League, because that's the highest level. And definitely you try and learn as much as you can. For example, Jermaine Defoe, top player, top pro, and trying to learn from him as much as I could when we were training together. And it's the same thing for every single player. You're just trying to take anything you can every second. Do you understand? To try and make your game better.
What was it like then when you made your debut? Obviously, you didn't play as many games as probably you would have liked for Sunderland.
Yeah.
But what was that like kind of for you? Were you 17 at the time or 18?
I was 18.
What was that like? Obviously, I know you came on and the game was pretty much dead already.
Yeah,
but what was that like for you? How many times were you on the bench before that moment?
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday. Man. I was too sick. So I think I'd been on the bench for a few games, maybe 5 games or something like that. Yeah, maybe 5 games before that. And as you say, we're playing Villa away at Villa Park. It was raining. It was at night. I think it must have been midweek or something, or Saturday night. But it was just, the pitch was unreal. It was raining. The stadium was packed. It was just so sick, and we were already 6-1 down by the time I came on, and we had got a red card as well. So I came on. But on the other hand, I was buzzing with that, because when you're young and when you're on the bench, you're hoping for 2 things. either to be 3-0 down or 3-0 up.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time you're actually gonna go. You're actually gonna come on. If it's 1-0, 1-1, you're never coming on. Do you know what I mean? So 6-1 down. The gaffer was the Kanye at the time. He says go warm up. So I'm going to warm up and stuff. I'm buzzing, like I actually come like I'm actually gonna come on here. And because of the pressure, I'm kind of blowing. I just make one run down the line, I'm blowing. I'm like shit. So then I'm coming back, I'm taking my top off and everything. And then it's just unreal. Like, and funny as it sounds, as like after the game, I thought, you know what, just give me like a run of games, give me a run of 5 games and I'll be able to adapt, because as much it is different. As I say, it's quicker. You have to be better technically. You have to be stronger physically and everything. But I'm thinking, just give me a run of 5 games and I'll be able to adapt. It was an amazing experience.
I've had Alan McCormack on before, and he obviously worked under Paolo at Swindon.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, did the same thing happen to you? Was it every day in that kind of level?
Yeah. Pre-season we're in for like no days off, like a month straight or something.
I was going to say, isn't it like 35? Doesn't he do like 35 days just straight? And
I can't exactly remember. I can't exactly remember, but it was something crazy. Like, and it's like morning and afternoon. So it's not even like you don't have one day where it's just like a chill day. So we would be running in the morning and then would be training in the afternoon. And his type of training is very like Italian type of style. Is very tactical. So a lot of time we're training, but it's a lot of time it's actually unopposed. You do a lot, a shape work, a lot of that. But you know what? He's a top coach, I think, in terms of his attention to details, his knowledge of the game. Obviously, he was a striker as well. So on that part, I was trying to learn as much as I could. He was giving me great advice, and he actually trusted me. He gave me my debut, and then he played me. He had me around the first team as much as possible. So I'm truly grateful for that.
Was it? I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and Alan said the same thing. Kind of, do you think if maybe his temperament in front of the fans, media, do you think if that wasn't as in your face as it is, he would now be at a top club again? Because
I think so.
Apparently his tactics and his, it was hard physically, but apparently everyone that I've looked up or read about, they all said that's the fittest they've ever been.
Yeah, I think so. I think when he came, he fully changed the team in terms of tactically was the most, and I think just the whole mindset he had as well, because he weren't allowed no sauces at
ketchup
at lunch, no ketchup, no mayonnaise, no juice, just pure water. Everything was like clean eating and everything, and it was big on fitness. I won't say he was huge on fitness. Like we used to work hard, but I didn't think it was like stupid hard. You know what I mean? But I think it's his managerial style that kind of let him down a little bit, because it's one of them. Is either you love it or you hate it. Do you understand? It's either you've got the change room with you and they follow you regardless, or you could easily lose it. And I think that's kind of happened at Sunderland.
I was going to say, like, you're speaking that now, and like we said before, O'Shea, Brown, Catamol, can you do that with them? I don't know. I wouldn't like to try.
I think you could. You know, when he first came, everybody bought into it. And when he first came, everybody bought into it. And then it was the second season when I think he doubled down on what he was doing. His tactics. Yeah, his tactics were. I think he and I don't know if it kind of worked. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame, because I think he could be a really good coach.
No, 100%.
Didn't work out.
We're going to go from the Premier League now, and we're going to go down. You went obviously to Eastleigh.
Yeah.
what, because I speak to a lot of players, and you probably do the same, and that's why I wanted to get you on this very topic. How, and you're seeing it now with the young lad at Liverpool, Reece Williams.
Mm.
Obviously, last year was at
Yeah,
Kidderminster Harriers,
yeah.
even lower than where Eastleigh were at the time.
Hmm.
Why for you was it important to, or why did you choose Eastleigh from when you're coming down from Sunderland to
Yeah,
Eastleigh? What was your mindset behind that?
yeah. So what happened? I remember I had been on loan to League Two a few times
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and I remember telling my agent I don't want to go to League Two. I don't want, and I just want League One minimum. What happened? I had been on trial to Bolton, who were dropping to League One at the time, and it actually went really well. They were going to offer me a contract. However, I think with the the club went to administration or something,
Yeah,
and the whole staff changed. So the people who got me the trial
yeah.
and who were impressed with me were gone. So I never got the contract. So now we're off season and seems like and there was nothing coming. And yeah, there was I had no options. There was no clubs really coming and stuff like that. And I had the opportunity to go to Eastleigh, and I thought I did not want to go into pre-season with no club because
No club,
that's
yeah.
just stress. Now you go pre-season no club, you have to go on trial. You don't know you don't know what's going to happen and stuff. And I went down to Eastleigh, and I went down to visit, and the staff and the whole atmosphere looked proper. It looked very much so a little bit like Sunderland, a bit like Sunderland in ways that it looked like a family club.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what I wanted was most important to me was to play because I'd been on loan to clubs and I wasn't always playing as much as I wanted to. And so the importance for me, I'm gonna go down there. I was gonna be the main man there, and I thought this is important for me to just go out there and play. And you never know. I always thought you never know in football things can go fast, especially being a striker. If you score a few goals,
Yeah.
then you could go back up. And I went there, and I honestly, I proper loved it there. It was unreal. I really enjoyed my time there. We had a great team, great boys, great club. Chairman was just a great guy and stuff. I really enjoyed my time there. So I'm looking back on it, and I thought it was definitely the right choice to make.
Is that one advice that you kind of give to any, at whatever level, player that gets released, or is that, say, a big club and
Hmm.
then gets released or is told to leave? Is your thing go out and play first and foremost, especially if you're in that bracket between kind of 18
Hmm.
and 23?
Yeah.
Like you said, you could have gone to a League Two club, or when
Yeah. Yeah.
you weren't
Yeah.
every week. Was that because you backed your own ability and you wanted to show people, well, if I'm good enough, that I think I am, I'm going to get that move again? If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I think so. When you get to a certain age, I advise anyone to go get games. I mean, everybody's situation is different
Yeah.
because depending on the club you come from, depending on kind of the money you could be getting, because that's important as well, and depending on like, don't just go to just any club and play. But
No.
Eastleigh it just seemed like the right move for me. But 100% I'd say go play, because that's the only way to, first of all, improve. No, not even first, to just enjoy life. Because
Yeah.
what happens in football is, like, when things on the pitch aren't going well, everything off the pitch is not going to go well. It just follows that way. So if you're playing, that's that game. Everything else just gets taken care of. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like that's the most important thing. Go play, be happy. Second, playing is the only way you're going to improve. And you can do all the training you want and stuff like that. It doesn't equal actually playing games, first team football. So that's the second. And third, that's the only way you're going to be able to show yourself,
Mm.
to showcase yourself, and trying to have other people see you. And as I said, try and get that move, because you're still young and stuff like that. Like, whatever position you play, you still have that chance to kick on and go back to playing for higher clubs. But I would therefore say, go and play. Go be happy first.
Is that a thing, like we said about the beginning with your Instagram and stuff? Is that a massive part of you? Yes, okay, you happen to play football for a job,
Mm-hmm.
but you personally need to be happy before that.
100%.
And
Yeah,
how
yeah.
obviously we're seeing that. I think probably most. Well, I think it's like 1 in 2 now. 1 in 3 men have had like obviously mental health issues and not being happy, and that comes into it. Is that for you the most important thing to you? If you're happy in what you're doing and being you, anything else can happen.
100%. To me, that's what it is. Now I'm lucky because my happiness comes through football. So as long as I'm playing football, I'm gonna be happy. And that's what I thought. Like I could be Eastleigh in conference. I could be at Sunderland in the Prem.
Yeah.
Football is football. I'm gonna be happy regardless. So that's the one thing. And also, what a lot of people who are not in football don't understand is that, for the biggest part, players love football and they love to play. They're really passionate. And as I say, when football's not going right, i.e., you're not playing well, you're injured, you're on the bench for a long time, you don't have a club, excuse me, that affect your life and your mental health so much to a degree that people can't comprehend.
No, definitely.
Because something as simple as being injured, people might think, yeah, but you're still getting paid, you still have banter with your boys and stuff like that. But no, this is the lowest point of your life, lowest point of like your life being injured. It's a horrible feeling, whether it's a long injury. And obviously that would be way worse. But even like a weak injury, you miss a game thinking this is so dead. Like I don't want to be missing training, don't want to be missing games. Something as small as that. And obviously everybody's different, so certain things gonna affect people more. But as I say, that's why I'm always trying to make sure you're happy within yourself, and that it will show on the pitch. But a lot of time, it starts from the pitch. If you're just being on the pitch will help you being happy and stuff like that. So I think that's something that a lot of people who are not in football, they don't really understand that.
No, 100%.
The effect that playing has on someone's health, on someone's mental health.
No, definitely. So obviously after Eastleigh, you done very well there.
Yeah.
Where was it next? Was it
Wigan?
What was that like for you? Because it was a whole. It was
short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Wigan was great. I had no clue until it was like deadline or the day before deadline day. My agent messaged me saying Wigan are interested. I'm like, hold on, Wigan? I actually had to double check. It's like, hold on, they're the champ, aren't they? I went online. It's like, yo, they're the champ. I was like, yo.
Get it done. I
was like, yo, let's go. But I think the way my agent works, I like him. Like he doesn't just say things until it's I don't want to say done, but it's serious.
Concrete, I mean, it's not like
he wouldn't just call me after one call from Wigan. Like, I just spoke to Wigan. Understand? So was just waiting, just trying to get the deal done and stuff, and got the deal done on deadline day. And Wigan was great, man, because it felt like obviously going from Prem to Conference, it is very different. Like the type of football, the type of the way they do things and stuff. So now you're going back to like a proper professional club, and everybody in training is just high level. Go back to high level. You make runs, the ball comes. Do you know what I mean?
Who was the manager at the time?
It was Warren Joyce. Yes. Warren Joyce, who was he had been the manager for the under 23s or under 21s at Man United, and that's how he knew me, because I'd been playing against Man United for years at Sunderland, and I was so grateful for the opportunity, because he had signed quite a few players, and the way he signed me, he made me understand that. Yeah, I may not be starting the first few games or whatnot, but he therefore saw a plan for me to improve and get in the team in the short-term future.
Yeah.
And in the short future, it's not like, oh, you're going to be playing next season or the next season after that. But it's like, yeah, be there, keep working. You're going to be playing. I believe in you. And he showed that when he gave me my debut against QPR. I came on. And then after that, gave me my full debut against Not Forest, I think it was. And the bad thing is he didn't stay long. So after I signed like right at the end of January, and I think like 6 weeks after that he was gone.
Was it a 6-month deal, or was it a couple of years, or what was it?
Me?
Yeah, that
For
you
me?
signed. Yeah.
Oh no, I signed 2.5 years.
Oh,
So
shit.
and he had signed 4 years. I'm sure when he signed, he signed like
Oh.
3.5 years or something.
And he's there 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, obviously he had been there for about maybe 6 weeks
But
before that.
Yeah.
And then so that's why it like proper killed me, because he was the one who saw something in me. So now the next manager that then took over, he didn't sign me. He didn't bring me in, and there were so many players with bigger names on bigger contract who had played way more games. Way more games than me. So therefore, when he comes, it's like it was Cook.
Paul Cook
came, and he had a very honest conversation with me. Look, I've got too many players. I've got this guy who's they're all ahead of you at the minute. I said, yeah, that's fine. But it is a shame, because if Warren just had still been there, I would have got way more chance to play and
show who you are as a player.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think that's because I can't remember who we had on before, but they said about Paul Cook and how honest he is.
Mm-hmm.
How much, and I see it a lot, and I hear it a lot with so many managers. Yeah, you're gonna play. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, you're in my plans.
Yeah.
And you've not played a game, and you're in the middle of November.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to have that honesty? Are you a type of player to go in and go, whether it's good, bad, ugly, just tell me the truth?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I can't talk about Paul Cook enough because I've not worked with him enough.
Yeah.
But in terms of like general honesty, it's so important to a player, because at least you know where you stand. So if you're not in the team, doing well in training and stuff like that, go see. You want to go see the manager. You want to understand why you're not in the team. You understand what you can do to get in the team, and you want the manager to be as honest with you as possible. If you like you would rather a manager telling you, look, I don't think you're good enough, and this is why you're not playing, than have someone tell you, yeah, no, you're fine. You're definitely gonna be in the plan, and you just never playing.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, like you want a manager to tell you when you do well as well. Do you understand? You don't have it could be difficult to have a manager that always trying to keep you on your toes, because as much as when you're playing and you're doing well, you can still have moment of doubts, because football's very up and down.
Oh yeah.
So you want to have the manager to be very honest with you, but like, look, you're doing really well at like, I don't know, like stuff like, I fully trust you, blah blah blah, stuff like that. It really makes it makes a huge difference. And there's and there are things like when I say you are when you are working hard, you are trying to get in the team, and it tells you, yeah, you're in a plan, you're gonna get your chance, and then you do get your chance and take it. It just makes it all better.
No doubt, mate. So we've gone from up north, down south, up north.
Yeah,
we're now back down south, mate.
Back down south.
What was that like?
Colchester. So as I said, Wigan, we part ways. Went to Colchester, and Colchester was a choice I made, because even though it was in League Two, it's a club that played good football. It's something that was important for me, because, excuse me, as much as I'm a tall striker, I'm a big striker and stuff, people see me like you can't see me as just a target man or whatnot. But if you look at my play and stuff, you can see that I can relink the play. I've got way more to my game to just being on the other hand or the other end of a long ball. Do you know what I mean? And Colchester's style of play, this is how they play. Trying to play good football, trying to play through the thirds and stuff. And I spoke with the manager and the assistant manager at the time, and I really like what they had to say. They had followed me for a while. They knew my strength. They knew what I could add to the team. And it just made sense. And I went there, had a great year. I really enjoyed my time there. I scored 10 goals my first year. And we just missed out on playoffs, I think, by 3 points, which was disappointing. But I really enjoyed my time there.
And we spoke about it before Frank, obviously Frank was there with you. Was it a two up top, a one up top? What was that like?
No, so Frank came the second year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what happened was, as I said, we just missed out on playoffs. I had scored 10 goals, and at the end at the end of the season we had a meeting with the manager, and he said, "Look, we missed out on playoffs. Our target is to get in the playoffs next year." So it showed me the stats of the strikers that did get into the playoffs or did get promoted, and they're scoring 20 goals or thereabouts. And they said, this is something that we need to improve. And so therefore they said, we're going to be competition. And that's going to help us. It's going to help you. Because at the time, I was on 10 goals and Sammy Smudix was maybe on 12 or 13. So there was only two of us who got double digits.
And that's quite a young. You both. I think he was what? He was 21 at the time, wasn't he? And you're
if I must have been 22, 23. He was like a year or two younger than me, so he wasn't really well. But basically, he said we're gonna need more goals, and we're gonna be competition to keep me on my toes, but also to bring help. And I said, yeah, no problem. I actually welcome it because, as I said, I really back myself and stuff like that. So it brings in Frank Nouble amongst other, I think, another one or two strikers as well, and it went great for our preseason. It went great. I finished top scorer in preseason and stuff, but for our preseason, me and Frank never really played together. And what happens? He started the first game, and so I was on the bench. And what happens? We started the season really well. So I never got in the team at the start of the season, and we were playing one up front or two up front. But he was playing Frank, and he would play with a number 10. So he never actually tried me and Frank up top until later. Which was disappointing because I felt like I deserved to play, and I felt like me and Frank could have been the best option, being the best option up front. So that second year was disappointing for me because I was not in the team as much as I was the first year, and I felt like I deserved way more game time than I got. And we just missed out on playoffs again. I think that time we missed out like by 1 point on the last day. It was very disappointing, man. It was very disappointing. But I had the best time at Colchester, man. I've got nothing but to say. The boys, the club, the staff, the gaffer. It's great, like top draw, man.
Didn't go too far then. Just to Gillingham. Wasn't too far. Was it Gillingham from there?
Yeah, it was. Fuck. I thought it wasn't far. So I signed Gillingham thinking, yeah.
You're thinking I could leave, I could stay here, I haven't got to move.
That's exactly that I thought. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, Gillingham just down the road. This is actually what happened, man. I signed at Gillingham. I look where it is on the map. I see an hour 15 and it's a straight road. A12, then you just come off, it's just there. I'm thinking, yeah, I see 115. I'm thinking, I'm doing that in 50, 55 minutes. Yeah. So, oh my God, it took me an hour and a half each day to get to training. Like an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. And but basically, I just didn't want to move. I felt very settled with my girlfriend being there. She was working. She had her friends. I was happy in the environment I was, and I'm thinking moving. Like, I don't want to move just to move like an hour down the road. It didn't make sense. But yeah, it was not that close. Jeez. But yeah, Gillingham, man. Gillingham went there, signed for Steve Evans. He had tried to sign me a year before that. At the end of my first year at Colchester, he tried to sign me when he was a manager at Peterborough. Didn't go through for whatever reason, and yeah, I end up at Gillingham, man.
What's Steve like? Obviously, he's a larger than life character, and I think he's from what I've seen, he likes to keep it simple but effective. How is that kind of? What was that like for you as a striker?
One thing with Steve Evans is going to be honest with you. If you're doing well, he'll tell you. If you're not doing well, you'll know. And what happened at Gillingham, I was happy because I was playing League One. And that was the league above. anything. I knew I was gonna have competition. I was not necessarily going there to be the main man or whatnot. I was gonna have competition. I knew that from the start, but I fully embraced it. First half of the season, didn't play that much. I think what happened. Sorry, me in the sweet.
That's all right, mate.
What happened is that as a team, we kind of took a while to adapt and buy into what the manager wanted. As I said, the manager is very direct, very intense, always high tempo, high pressing, a lot of running and behind, a lot of very direct balls up to the strikers and stuff. And we had players that we felt we had more to give than that. And at first, we didn't fully buy into what the managers wanted. So it took us a while to really get going. But once I got in the team, we all bought into it and stuff like that. And we had a good spell. I think we had 13 games unbeaten for a while. We were just outside of the playoffs, that thing. We got FA Cup third round. We got West Ham. We had some good time, man.
What was because we're talking about Colchester and Gillingham. What are the fans like down there? Because whenever I've kind of seen them, like as a fan traveling and stuff, or they've come to a stadium I'm at, they always both seem to be like very vocal, good, bad, whatever. That's their prerogative, but they're always very passionate for the team.
No, they are, man. Especially at Colchester, this is the only team in Essex, I think, Colchester, in the football league. So they're very proud. They're very vocal, and fans were great. They always had my back. They always supported me first year. In the second year, I was not playing as much. Every time I used to come on, they used to sing my name and stuff. So I'm so grateful for it. And great fans. It's the same way at Gillingham. Some great fans, man. You get a bit more, I think, at Gillingham fans that you do at Colchester, probably because of it's League One, But there's this stand at Gillingham where it's behind the goal, and we're attacked. More time we're attacked there in the second half. It gets crazy, man, because it's attack after attack. They go wild. As you said, they're very vocal and stuff. It's great, man.
And at that point, from the time at Gillingham, is it now where we're at now at Crewe?
Yeah.
How did the Crewe come about? Because, and this isn't me just blowing smoke, because I think I'd tell you if you weren't playing well, I'm that honest. I think this is, I would say, potentially your best time in your career in terms of goals, playing games, effective. What would you say? How's it been at Crewe?
It's been great, man. Crew's been amazing. What happened is that at the end of the season, so I was out of contract at Gillingham, and Gillingham was gonna offer me a contract as well. But I was looking at different options. And when Crewe first came about, I was like, Crewe, like I wasn't sure.
Crewe?
No, I knew where Crewe was, and I knew they had just got promoted and stuff, but I wasn't sure on it at first. And I remember asking Frank Newblade, because he played against them in League Two. So I was like, it was Crewe, like, oh, no, that's it, because I've been told that Crewe play great football. And I feel like I hear it all the time. There's loads of managers like, yeah, we try and play football, and then they don't really, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So then I asked Frank, I was like, you've played against them, just tell me what they're like. It's like, bro, they play a ball. They play football from the back. Oh, short passing football. I said they play sick football. I was like, what, for real? I said, yeah, man. I was like, cool. So then I thought, okay, let me take it serious. Let me go meet with the manager. Let me go see the club. Let me go see what it's like. And I went to meet the manager, went to see the club, and I just love what they had to say. They look very honest. They showed me different stats, the different ways of how they're working. They told me about the plan for the club, the plan for me, and I loved it. So I signed here, buzzing, man, buzzing. It's gone really well. I feel like I've been learning a lot. I've been improving every day, tactically, technically, and I mean, it's been showing on the pitch. I started the season really well. Got a few goals and stuff, so hopefully it can keep going, man.
And I was going to say, I think, like you said, they like to play football, and you can probably see that from the players that have come through the academy as well.
Yeah.
The likes of like your Nick Powell. Nick Powell, I don't think he got sold or from Crewe to United.
Nick Powell. I played with Nick Powell at Wigan.
Yeah.
Nick Powell, Luke Murphy got sold to Leeds. David Vaughan. So many have come through. I've come through the academy. I'm probably missing some, but yeah, I think throughout the year they've got a history of being a very good academy. Trying to build good football players.
Is that for you as well? Kind of good football players that they try and build, but pardon me, you look at the squad and the team you've got right now. Maybe not in recent weeks, results haven't been going your way, but I always look at it and go, you've got a really good mix of young players, but like we're talking about Ollie, experienced pros, players that have played at League One, League Two, and looking to push on. What's the team like? Like the kind of team cohesion behind closed doors?
The dynamic's great. The dynamic's great because similar what was like at Sunderland, all the boys, most like the huge majority of them came through the academy together. They've been playing together since they were really young. So I said the atmosphere is great. The atmosphere is great. And you can tell players they've all come through the academy because they've got certain style of play. They just the way in terms of tactically, but technically as well, the way the gaffer wants us to play, you can see they've been taught from young. And as I said, we've got the good mix. We've got Chris Porter's been there for a while, who's very experienced striker. Ollie, who's been at different clubs throughout the league. He's played League One, League Two. Omar Beckles as well, who's a bit more experienced as well. And I think it helps to have a good mix.
Mm-hmm.
So in me, I've been at different clubs. So I can add to that as well. And great young players who are hungry and who are very ambitious as well. It helps, man.
No, mate, no doubt. I like to do this towards the end. I like to do a little quick fire question round with you, mate. Man. So the first thing that comes to your head, okay? Yeah. Best player you've ever played with?
I like to say Stéphane Sessegnon at Sunderland. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, baller in the 10, wasn't he? Is he?
Yeah, 10.
What was it like in training?
Oh, he's different. He's so sick. Like so sharp, so good technically. Like really, really sharp. I used to love watching play, man. I used to either him or Jan M. Villa. I don't know if you remember. He was at Sunderland.
Yeah. CDM.
Played for France. CDM. Yeah. He's too sick. Like you could see level. Like he played for France. Like that's crazy. He played for France. I used to love watching play as well.
Best goal you've ever scored?
I like a goal I scored in the FA Cup for Hartlepool when I was on loan there. It was like end of the game. We're playing Salford at home, replay, and I think we're 1-0 up. But they're pushing. They're really pushing. They're pushing, and we got on the counter. The ball get crossed. It comes over my head, and I volleyed it in the top corner towards the end of the game. I was buzzing with that goal.
Best moment in football?
My debut, man. You can't beat that. You actually can't beat that. That was, in terms of, I was so proud, so happy, just an amazing moment, man.
Best friend in football or best friends in football?
Best friend.
You're gonna out some people now, mate. If you leave anyone out, they should be listening.
It's tough because I've got some very good friends, man. Obviously Frank Nublet is a huge one. Been friends. I've got George Honeyman's probably my oldest friend in football. Plays for Hull now. I've made some good friends in football, and I've been blessed, man. I've been lucky.
Favorite or best manager you've worked under, in terms of you personally, like your relationship with them?
I can't say the manager I'm with now, so I'm gonna go with past managers. I'm gonna say Kevin Ball when I was at the academy at Sunderland. Top manager, top man, top guy.
Okay. If you had one bowl of cereal left, or one breakfast that you could have, you had to have that for the rest of your life. What is it, and tell me why?
Cool. And
You've been ready for this. You've been waiting for this question. I feel.
No,
Like
listen, because
exactly
I know already. As I eat that bowl, I know if I could have this for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. So it's a mix. It's a French cereal called Choc à Pic. It's like a chocolate flake cereal type thing, yeah? You mix it with Frosties. You go 50-50. It's important to go 50-50 on the mix. Have that with milk. You can't beat it, man. The difference between like chocolate and a non-chocolate cereal mix is just amazing, man.
Are you a warm cereal guy? Do you like warm milk?
Cold.
No,
Cold always. Because I like my cereal crispy. See, if your milk is warm, they just go soggy and soft too quick. So I'm a cold milk guy.
I think I might have to add that question, mate, to all my podcasts. I think it's
ask them, man. Ask people what they're on. And you'll see people are not as passionate as me. They don't know their food or their cereal as much as I do.
You're the man, mate. Okay, last question.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you finish playing and you're retired, you're back in France, back in Paris, loving life? Yeah. What's the one thing you want to be remembered by in football?
Hey, that's a good question, man. For my energy, man. My energy, I think if you ask all of my teammates, I bring great energy to football every day. I think if I could be remembered for that, having great energy, trying to uplift people, and always having a smile on my face, I'd be happy, man.
Amazing, mate. That's it. Absolutely pleasure having you on, mate. I think it's been a good laugh.
It's been great, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below who you want next. Actually, no, comment what your favourite cereal is. And I will ask you, mate. You will ask you to see the comments. But yes, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure. Appreciate it, man.